Welcome to Sports Communications Topic 3. This is 3E Sponsorship and Tourism Part 3, where we continue talking about sponsorship. Just having a think about Coca-Cola and the Atlanta Olympics. I know this is a while ago, 1996, but it gives you an example of something called activation. Coca-Cola spent $450 million worldwide on their sponsorship of the 1996 Olympics. They spent $40 million for the worldwide sponsorship rights. So that was what it cost them to become a top Olympic sponsor. They spent $25 million through NBC in advertising. They spent $50 million via other TV channels for advertising. $18 million sponsoring the Olympic torch relay, $12 million by creating the Coca-Cola Olympic City. They spent $15 million with team and governing bodies and various things with sponsorship, like with product and various other things. And $290 million in global activation and promotions through 167 countries, which works out to be about $2 million per country. So all of that adds up to probably 10% paid for the sponsorship rights and 90% paid for activation, and we'll talk more about what activation means later on. You can't just cough up your money at the beginning and expect that to be enough. You have to spend a whole lot more in order to make sure that your sponsorship is adequately resourced. So some conditions of good sponsorship. Firstly, we've got to think about how the customers see things. You've got to have a perceived customer value for the total package, and you've got to have congruence between the sponsor and the sponsoree's images. You need an image that is different. It's not me too, and you have to add value to both brands. Competitor differentiation. You can't do imitation. You've actually, just because your competitor has sponsored a soccer team, you can't go and sponsor a soccer team as a me too. That's never going to work. You actually need to make sure that you're doing something that's uniquely for you and aligned with your brand. It needs to be exclusive. Whatever it is needs to provide some exclusivity to your brand, such as like the top sponsors for the Olympics. And we'll take a look at the sponsors right now. Here's the partner program. Whoops, we just seem to have lost it. Here we go, the partner program, and we're loading. I think it's going to be a bit slow. I'll get you guys to go and have a look at it yourselves. Okay. You need to make sure you leverage the package, so whatever it costs you, you need to be getting far more in return, and by actually being aligned with the right sponsor arrangement, you should both be getting extra benefits than the cost. You also need to remember to still send out your one message, and if your sponsor can't cope with the one message you send out, then you have the wrong sponsor. Other conditions of good sponsorship is this idea of extendability, so that you can actually extend the sponsorship so that clients, customers, fans, staff, volunteers can actually be involved with the sponsor in some way. A particularly good example of that was Michael Jordan's sponsorship with Nike, in that Nike had Michael Jordan involved in product development and in putting out his own range. The athlete then becomes part of the team, the sponsorship becomes part of the organisational culture, part of the time and effort, and there's clear links to brand development. That becomes a total package, and both parties get an excellent return on risk and investment.